It's like there has to be way more than this. Yeah, we came to that conclusion. The conclusion was if we're going to discover more in God and grow as people in God, in how He created us to be, discover our identities, fulfill our purposes on the earth, then we needed to not put Him in a box, and we needed to do our best to always say yes to Him.
If you want like an easy life, then you can't say yes to God. But God.
Yeah, if anyone needs to know, there is absolutely a way out. The way out is the finished work of Jesus, because the perfect covenant of Jesus destroys any other covenant.
Okay. So thanks to be to God.
Mm-hmm. So, in getting just a little more granular in things, we want to discuss vision, the divine triangle. That's what I'm coining it. I just made that up. So, then also strength, serving, weakness. And these are really what we believe to be like the three pillars of covenant. And then we're, like I said, we're going to get more granular. We're going to, enter as many areas of covenant as we can, with the view of how to help people make marriage more successful, being in union with one another, being in union with God, creating a healthy and safe place for family, and keeping your physical health intact as well. So, vision. Marie, you brought it up. We were dating and we just kind of stumbled upon the vision. You told me earlier you don't remember the story, though, right?
Well, I don't know for sure. Were we just like worshiping? And I don't remember. I remember parts of it. I don't remember like the um, scenario that we were in exactly, but I remember talking and what we came up with.
Yeah.
Never put God in a box, and always say yes to Him and do our best to say yes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't remember the exact scenario, but it was just when we were dating, it was, we were trying to figure things out. Like, church had some sort of holy discontentment about it. It didn't seem like it was what it used to be. And we kind of felt like life had more to offer in a lot of ways, in who we were and what we were doing with our life, and um, in our work, and all sorts of stuff. And so we were just going through a lot of transition at that time, and going to two different churches at the time, and just trying to figure out, like, it seems like if God is just like huge and amazing and mysterious, and we only understand what He reveals to us, then, like, why do we think we've got it all figured out just because we like go to church on Sunday mornings and like read our Bibles for 10 minutes every day? It's like there has to be way more than this. you know
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we came to that conclusion. The conclusion was if we're going to discover more in God and grow as people in God, in how He created us to be, discover our identities, fulfill our purposes on the earth,
Mm-hmm.
then we needed to not put Him in a box, and we needed to do our best to always say yes to Him.
Which then got us into
Whoa.
a lot of hard places. Because if you want like an easy life, then you can't say yes to God. He's not going to give you that. He wants you to be refined and become more like Him and lay down your life and all of these things. So we started that journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We made those promises, and then we got married. And then the first 2 years were like hell. I mean, we thought we were losing our minds. And and just riding the roller coaster of spiritual warfare. But but that vision, I think it did keep us on track in many ways, even if it wasn't like cognitive that we were like, nope, we made a vision, we got to stick to the vision.
Hmm.
But it was like, I think subconscious, where it was like, no, this is what we wanted in our hearts.
Hmm.
Like, we want to not put God in a box. So we're going to experience this and figure it out. And we do want to say yes to God. And so we're not going to be afraid of losing our minds. We're not going to be afraid of the warfare tomorrow, because it was just the vision. It's not like a poster on your wall where you're like, yep, that's where we're going. So we just have to grind it out today.
Hmm.
The vision is like, this is the status of my heart. No matter what feelings I'm going through, no matter what circumstances we're living out in life around us, no matter what the news says, no matter what our peers say about what we're doing, the status of my heart is I want to experience God however He wants to be experienced. So I can't put Him in a box. And I want to fulfill what He wants me to fulfill. So I can't say no to Him.
Hmm.
And we don't get it right every day.
No.
In fact, we're probably just now coming up on 50-50. And so for the first 7 years of our marriage, it was probably like we did it like 10% of the time. And maybe now we're getting to be 50-50. I
I don't know either.
don't know. Just, there's no way to quantify. I'm just trying to make people feel better. But um, vision, though, is the thing that keeps you grounded over the long term. All of this is about the long term. You don't focus on the wedding day, you focus on the covenant. You don't focus on the ups and downs, you focus on the vision. Like, what is the end goal that you're going to get to?
Hmm.
And with us, it's experiencing God as fully as we can and fulfilling as much as we can that He has written about us, because He's written books about every single one of us before we were even born.
Hmm.
So, don't you want to discover that book and live it out? I mean, it's the perfect life. We got to do our best to get on that page, and you can't do that without vision.
And I like that it was we and us. It's like even in that vision for our life with God, it was not Marie's vision and Brett's vision, what God wants to do with Marie and then what God wants to do with Brett. It was this is what we are positioning our heart posture to be towards God as one. And that was even not like thought about or on purpose, but it was just we knew that we were going to marry each other and we were going to become one. And that's part of this deal. Like and we experienced that too when we got married. A little ways into it, we started experiencing all of this warfare and all of this, like, this opened up life possibilities. Like, these things just kind of opened up before us. And it it was like you get a new identity as one, as a married couple. You just it's such a spiritual thing that happens. And whenever you recognize that, you can really see how you've become one and you have this unified
Mm-hmm.
new calling, identity, mission, purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad you bring that up, because that was even part of our story too. And, like, you were a teacher at the time, and I was in church leadership at the time. And so, I mean, both of us thought, like, you were like, well, I want to raise kids and I want to teach kids and I love kids and I'm just about kids and family and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. But also, like, I'm going to lead a church one day. And so it's like, you can't figure out how they're going to go together at first. We just knew God had a big story for us. And so we're like, let's enter into the story. And now those things make a lot more sense, like how those two come together. Because we see the overlap without getting into the details about that. We see the overlap of family and church.
Yeah.
And it didn't make sense then, but it makes a lot more sense now, 7 years down the road. So, yeah, don't get overwhelmed about, well, I'm supposed to do this, and how is that going to work together? Ask God if He has a story for you, and then you'll see how the chapters fit together.
Mhm.